Ministry of Truth, that's so 1984. Get out of here with that stuff. I'm Awake Souls, uh, joined by the limitless one, Ronnie Harris. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Chilled out. It's gonna be a fun night tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun night. We are doing memes of the week number 15, everybody. And and then we have something that sort of just jumped onto the radar. Came across this today, and I have a feeling that it's something that every single person in the world is probably going to become familiar with. So we're going to go through a clip of Fox News, and yeah, did you hear, brother, about this Ministry of Truth that Biden just
Crazy, crazy. I can't even believe it. I'm blown out of the water by it, to be honest. We're gonna have to find out and see what happens, right?
yeah. So what do you think? We have ministry. Well, we're going to go into depth as to some speculation as to I don't know, the ways that we could see this unfolding, also into the reason behind it, the motive, right? The why would they do this? And so we'll look at it. We'll put our speculation to it. Show you the things that we see, and the memes that you have prepared for us are also similar nature, you said, but I mean there's always a variety of them. So we're gonna have both going on tonight. What else is
That
going on, brother?
it's all congruent, right? It all works together, glove in hand, or however you want to say it, shoe and foot, or whatever you want to throw to the analogy on it. But yeah, no, we got lots of truth to talk about. Hopefully everybody has a good weekend, and you guys all rest to get ready for another great week. Um, yeah, there's not much on my mind, just other than always wanting to fight for freedom and truth. And that's it. I'm thankful to be here tonight. Yeah, this ministry of truth is crazy. The government now thinks they can be the arbiter of what is true and what is false. Obviously, it's a Overton window move. They're obviously trying to push it so far out so that they can, throw something back and move the pace a little bit forward. We've all gone over this Overton window topic. I know you have a bit more of an in-depth take on what we're going to see tonight,
Well,
but yeah,
one of the things that I saw being promoted within Tucker's piece was this anti false dichotomy. Right? He goes just absolutely false dichotomy. Like anybody talking about false dichotomies is a retard, an idiot.
mhm.
It's asinine to even talk about false dichotomies. And
Crazy.
it's funny because all the people that are running false dichotomies, right, and this is how they do it, they
Mhm.
never talk about false dichotomies. You don't hear people talking, oh, that's a false dichotomy, oh, that's a false dichotomy, if they're a part of a false dichotomy. In fact, they never want you to know what a false dichotomy is. So it's only people that operate from a third perspective, an outside view, that see that option A and option B are both wrong, right? It's that
They don't.
it's the third perspective that can see that neither of those are correct and that something else is the correct option.
Yeah, they don't give you the truth. They set up the division so that they can divide and conquer. Right? It's all going to be congruent. We're going to lay out the case tonight. Um, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm just chilled out. At least I can hear out of my right ear a little bit better than usual. But I'm just looking forward to this, bro. So yeah, I don't really have too much more that I want to say. I just hope
Okay.
everybody has a good time tonight. We can share some truth and fight for freedom together.
So we're
That's it.
gonna be going through a Fox News clip that is it's like a 17-minute piece. It's Tucker's show on Fox, and we're gonna analyze this. So we're going through this under fair use, and we're gonna analyze this from a whole different perspective because we're going to be taking a look at how Fox News could even publish such a piece the way they did. We're gonna see some idiosyncrasies and some things that you got to really wrap your head around to see what's taking place. So I guess we might as well get over to going through that. It'll take us a little bit. You just stop me whenever you want, brother, and we'll check this out. We got the screen share going. I just got to get my camera out of the way.
Yeah, I'll get changed, set up here, move my stuff around so I can see too.
All right. So Tucker was really given quite the piece here where I have a feeling that everybody in the world is going to become familiar with this piece. It, as of right now, has 1.69 million views on it. And just this afternoon, the first people were starting to actually come out and talk about this. So we're still very much at the very early edge of covering this. And let's check it out.
First announced that he was buying Twitter, it was pretty obvious the Democratic Party would soon become unhinged, not just angry or annoyed in the way you're very used to, but instead legitimately terrified and hysterical. Imagine.
All right, so what we're going to be doing is tying this whole Twitter and Elon thing together with this this Fox News story. This is all happening at once, and it's all intertwined together.
How you'd feel if an armed intruder broke into your home at 3
Screen
a.m.
share,
You couldn't
please.
exactly know where things were going.
Sorry about that, brother.
Absolutely okay.
I was in a hurry to get going. So you probably didn't hear, but we are making the connections between Twitter, Elon, and then this whole I mean, it's the Ministry of Truth, right? The Orwell 1984. And we got a couple of things that we'll point out as we go along.
But you'd be dead certain that everything was at stake. That's how Democrats feel right now, because in fact, everything is at stake. Joe Biden cannot continue to control this country if you have free access to information. It's that simple. Biden certainly is not improving your life. He's not even trying to improve your life. So the best he can do is lie to you and demand that you believe it. But to do that, he needs to make certain that nobody else can talk, because if you were to hear the truth, you might not obey. How is Biden going to pull that off? It's not easy. Well, one option would be to get men with guns to tell you to shut up. Most Americans probably haven't thought of that because this isn't Africa or Eastern Europe. This is America, and we don't do things like that here and never have. Or more precisely, we haven't until now. But now Joe Biden is president and everything is different. So today, to herald the coming of the new Soviet America, the administration announced its own Ministry of Truth. This will be called the Disinformation Governance Board. Laugh if you want, but just to show you they're not kidding around here, this board is not part of the State Department or any other agency focused on foreign threats from abroad. No. The Disinformation Governance Board is part of the Department of Homeland Security.
All right, Department of Homeland Security. So this isn't a federal trade. This isn't anything having to do with the electronics. You know what regulate? What is it? The FCC that regulates, you know, broadcasts and all that kind of stuff. No, this is Department of Homeland Security, FEMA, and so this logo up here actually is a modern day knockoff of the 1984 Ministry of Truth from that dystopian book or movie, 1984. So they've updated it to 2022, and yeah, so a Ministry of Truth. The first I've ever heard of that was from Tucker Carlson here. There was absolutely no other, oh, we're going to make this department, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It was literally announced and released through his words right here.
DHS is a law enforcement agency designed to police the United States, and that, by the way, has a famously large stockpile of ammunition. So it's not a joke at all. Here's DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
We have just established a Mis- and Disinformation Governance Board in the Department of Homeland Security to more effectively.
What? We have just established. So that's past tense. That means that it has been established, a Mis- and Disinformation Board. And who was this guy again? This Mayorkas? He's like the head of Homeland Security.
Effectively combat this threat, not only to election security, but to our homeland security.
Do you see the look up and down to our homeland security?
Oh, so one of America's top law enforcement officers just announces to the Congress that actually we're going to be policing what you say, and everyone in the room kind of nods, oh yeah, it's totally normal. But here's what he didn't say. So America's told us that disinformation is a threat to Homeland Security. Now, he's the head of the Department of Homeland Security, so presumably he would know, since assessing threats to Homeland Security is his job. But what he didn't tell us is how he's defining disinformation. So here you have this new and terrifying thing that the Biden administration is so concerned about that has created a new agency to fight it, but Mayorkas never said or even hinted as to what it might be. So the man in charge of the Disinformation Governing Board never defined disinformation. It's almost...
See, he's going to bring up an analogy, but I'm going to say it's like writing a blank check, just signing it. All right, you can just fill in whatever you want. It's signed. Go.
It's unbelievable when you think about it. Would you declare war on a country you couldn't name? Would you sentence someone to death for a crime you couldn't describe? Of course you wouldn't, not if you were a sane and decent person. Because you can't have justice without precise definitions. That's why we have very large books of law that define what is allowed and what is not. But they're not defining the core concept at the heart of what is effectively a new law enforcement agency. Maybe that's because Mayorkas doesn't want justice, and neither does the president he serves. They want power. And to get power, they plan to control what you think. Watch Mayorkas explain.
See, Tucker is going full conspiracy right now. They want power. This is orchestrated. This is a power grab, a overthrow, a overreach, right? He's going conspiracy right here.
We have so many different efforts underway to equip local communities to identify individuals who very well could be descending into violence by reason of ideologies of hate, false narratives, or other disinformation and misinformation propagated on social media and other platforms.
All right, so that's... He nailed all the important things right there, the misinformation, disinformation. He actually talks about the ability to stop this before it happens. All right, we got to go through, and this is something that every word of this you need to know and understand. This is the power that supposedly is in the hands of these people now.
Right. Communities to identify individuals who very well could be descending into violence by reason of ideologies of hate.
By reason of ideologies of hate. So everything's going to be labeled hate that they don't like.
False narratives or other disinformation and misinformation propagated on social media and other platforms.
There it is.
Oh. Did you know that? So one of our biggest law enforcement agencies has men with guns around the country doing so many things to stop disinformation and false narratives. Those aren't even lies. They're just deviations from the approved script. Mayorkas told us again that men with guns plan to, quote, identify individuals who could be descending into violence, could be descending. Not people who've committed violence or even been accused of any crime at all. DHS is instead using law enforcement powers to identify and punish people who think the wrong things. That would be opponents of the Biden administration. Is this dystopian fiction? No, it's happening right in front of us. That means that Joe Biden's partisan political enemies are now...
So that's one of the get real moments right there. Is this fiction? No, this is being announced that it's actually taking place. There is this ministry of truth that now exists. It just because Tucker talked about it, now we're going to hear about it.
Now officially enemies of the state. How is this happening in America? Good question, but it is happening. And Biden's new thought cop in chief has been revealed. She's a 33-year-old, highly self-confident young woman called Nina Jankowicz.
The 33.
Jankowicz comes from a place called the Wilson Center. That's a nonprofit named for America's other mentally incapacitated warmonger bigot president. Ironically, because everything is irony, the Wilson Center is itself a major producer of, yes, disinformation, but of the neocon variety, and for that reason is heavily funded by the Biden administration. Jankowicz is also, because everything is connected, a former advisor to the neoliberal government of Ukraine, the government we're shipping tens of billions of tax dollars to as our own economy swirls down the drain.
All right. Did you see how that all wove together? The narrative is too perfect. All these things connect. Oh, imagine that. There's no new names. There's no other players. It just so happens that this is the person that listened to all the connections.
But of the neocon variety, and for that reason is heavily funded by the Biden administration. Jankowicz is also, because everything is connected, a former advisor to the neoliberal government of Ukraine, the government we're shipping tens of billions of tax dollars to as our own.
An advisor to Ukraine, where the money is being sent. We just had the headlines the other day of Biden, $33 billion they want to send to Ukraine, right?
An economy swirls down the drain. So you really can't make any of this up. It's too grotesque. Would you believe a novel with this plot? No, you wouldn't. But it's happening, and that's the bad news. The good news is everyone involved in Joe Biden's new Ministry of Information is a buffoon. They may be evil, but they're also ridiculous. Nina Jankowicz is the most ridiculous of all. So you read about her appointment in the...
All right, so we're going from the introduction of a Ministry of Truth, right? Nobody's ever heard of this before. We're 5 minutes, 51 seconds in, and now we're already going to who the leader of this Ministry of Truth is, and they're going to start presenting all the debunks, all the negative publicity, so that this straw man, this character here, a sacrificial lamb, is going to be able to be taken down. Check this out.
The Washington Post this morning, and you immediately thought of the NKVD, because why wouldn't you? Yet even the NKVD, even at the height of Stalin's purges, never did karaoke. They were too dignified for that. But Nina Jankowicz happily does. Here she is.
Information laundering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet. So disinformation's origins are slightly less atrocious. It's how you hide a little lie, little lie. It's how
hide a little lie, hide a little lie, hide a little lie.
you hide a little lie, little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. When Rudy Giuliani shared that intel from Ukraine, or when TikTok influencers say COVID can cause pain, they're laundering disinfo, and we really should take note and not support their lies with our wallet, voice, or vote. Oh!
So this is the point of the show. We're going to say we're kidding, we're making all of this up. It's not really happening in the country you were born in, but it is happening. That's now a law enforcement official. It's also the person you just saw, an
law
individual who
enforcement
brags
official
about getting a master's degree from Georgetown University. In case you're wondering if the entire academic credentialing machine that sustains America's ruling class is in fact a joke. Spoiler alert, yes, it is a joke. This is somebody with so few useful skills that she describes herself in the first words of her own bio as a, quote, internationally recognized expert on disinformation. As if that's a job of some sort. Imagine if one of your kids grew up to be an internationally recognized expert on disinformation. The shame you would feel.
So I just want to point out that Tucker is going to now shred this person, make them look absurd, ridiculous. So we go from finding out that we have a Ministry of Truth to just an absolute shredding. They've done the research. There was a book that she wrote. They know everything, every plan, every manifesto of this person, their whole agenda. Here it comes.
The pain of knowing that truly and unequivocally you had failed as a parent. After all those years of advanced education, Nina Jankowicz became an internationally recognized expert on disinformation. And not only that, she can't even rhyme very well. What Nina Jankowicz can do, her one skill, the purpose for which she was hired, is level partisan attacks on the other side with maximum ferocity. That is her real job. Now, you may have noticed, if you listen carefully to the ditty she just sang, that every example of disinformation in her karaoke performance came from people who opposed Joe Biden's policies. Is that a coincidence? Probably not. In fact, we know it's not, because Nina Jankowicz is telling all the disinformation is on the other side of the political divide. Listen.
Most of the disinformation that we've seen, this highly emotionally manipulative content, is coming from the right. If you look at the top 10, most engaged with posts on Facebook or Twitter on a given day, they are usually posts that are coming from the right. And that's because the right does deal in this highly emotional rhetoric.
Highly emotional rhetoric. Have you ever stopped to realize that it's the left that promote the highly emotional rhetoric, and then when the right comes along and disarms it and says that's ridiculous, that's when they become super emotionally charged. So the left is the one that's known for having the emotionally charged rhetoric, while the right, the logical, like, thinking path.
You'd have to live in a self-awareness free vacuum. You might even have to go to Georgetown University to utter a sentence like that. The right deals in this highly emotional rhetoric, says Nina Jankowicz. Now, it's worth noting here, because we can't resist, that this very same Nina Jankowicz once wrote an entire book about how women can't use the internet because it's just too upsetting for them. They're too fragile to read words they disagree with. It makes them faint. Here's a direct quote from Nina Jankowicz's book. Quote, "To be a woman online is an inherently dangerous act." Keep in mind, if you're a lady and you were to, I don't know, order Uber Eats, you're exposing yourself to danger. This is the same woman, Nina Jankowicz, telling you that it's the right that uses emotional rhetoric. Now, to be fair, Nina Jankowicz probably didn't expect a lot of people to read that in her book, because no one read her book. It has a total of 2 reviews on Amazon. But
2 reviews on Amazon, but Fox has a copy of it, and we're going to see some quotes from the book, right?
we did read it. We'll get in a moment to what we found, because it tells you exactly what we can expect from our new Ministry of Truth under Nina Jankowicz. But first, it's necessary to know a little more about this person. Now, she's not simply a hypocrite. She obviously is, whether she knows it or not. She would be too dim to understand hypocrisy. What she really is, of course, is a heavy for the Democratic Party, and she's done that job flawlessly. Nina Jankowicz, the disinformation hunter, once called the Hunter Biden laptop story, which is entirely true, a, quote, Trump campaign product. In October of 2020, she wrote, quote, voters deserve the context, not a fairy tale about a laptop repair shop. Now, did she give us the context or any countervailing facts? Did she deliver the truth about that story? No, of course not. She just read a bunch of lies somebody handed to her on a card because she's a useful idiot. And now she's a law enforcement official. Nina Jankowicz is repeating a lie that was, of course, widespread on the eve of the presidential election. And when she repeated it, it made it possible for Joe Biden to repeat it on the debate stage during a presidential debate. In case you've forgotten, here he is.
All right, so I just want to point out that Tucker is saying that this new Ministry of Truth person, right, her lie is what made it possible for Biden to take the election, right, because of her disinformation. So we have this one person that's attached to the whole fraud of Biden, and it just so happens that she is going to be the new Minister of Truth appointed by Biden, right? You got the narrative?
There are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plant. They have said that this has all the 5 former heads of the CIA, both parties, say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage. Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
That's exactly what.
Is this
that's
where you
exactly
go?
what.
This is
told.
where.
Did he say Rudy Giuliani?
He did drool his words there.
He said Giuliani. Right? Sorry.
So Fox chose to play that clip as the proof that this new chick, the TikTok lady, is she's the one that made this all possible because of her disinformation, right?
To be clear, this is a nightmare unfolding in slow motion, but this is the point where we're just going to have to draw the line. No, Joe Biden, you can't have a federally funded Ministry of Truth. And no, Nina Jankowicz can't run it. Period. It's not.
All right, so that's a big red line that Tucker Carlson just drew. He said can't happen, period. He announced it, he debunked it, all in, what are we at? We're at 11 minutes and 33 seconds, and it's been declared and debunked and not going to happen already. This is a fast-moving one, everybody. Very fast-moving.
It's your country, you're not even compos mentis, and you don't get to do this to a free people. Period. This can't happen. And what is this? Well, if you want to know what's going to happen, look at what just did happen. So Nina Jankowicz made it possible for a presidential candidate to lie from the debate stage about a story that may have changed the outcome of election. Our election, our presidential election, speaking of disinformation. She never apologized for that. That's because her role has nothing to do with the truth or stopping disinformation. Her job is to restrict any speech that challenges Joe Biden or the Democratic Party. Now, you'd think that would be illegal in this country as a federal employee because we do have a First Amendment. But Nina Jankowicz doesn't believe in the First Amendment. As she wrote recently, quote, "The free speech versus censorship framing is a false dichotomy." First of all, here's a pro tip. Anyone who uses the term false...
Here's a pro tip. All right, now I want to play this. I want to go through this. I want to talk about this. He says, this is a pro tip. Here he goes.
False dichotomy is a moron, okay? That is one of countless academic phrases designed to prevent thought rather than facilitate it. False dichotomy means they're never going to have to explain why their position is correct or yours is wrong. They just dismiss with, oh, it's a false dichotomy.
Not what a false dichotomy
Again,
is.
that's an NPR phrase used by low IQ people who for some reason run our country all of a sudden.
Who says false dichotomy? Other than you and I. Who?
Yeah.
Right?
Globe and the FFE, AE map. Everything they give us is a false dichotomy. What's Tucker talking about?
So here is a directed attack literally at you and I. Everybody that's followed us understands that we are the one that preach false dichotomy, and this is the aware position. This is the one that sees that option A and B are both wrong or both bad, right? It's option C that's correct or you want. They'll never let you know that. So this is a straight up attack directed towards us on the truth.
The false dichotomy is they give you two falsehoods. They don't give you the truth. That's the third option. And whatever it is, it's the truth. They give you two lies. They make you fight over those two, and they segregate everybody into two sides. And then they profit off both sides and commit genocide while they're doing it.
And every single one of the options are arguable. It doesn't mean because a person says false dichotomy that it's not arguable. That's stupid.
Tucker's just as much as involved in this as Jankowicz. They're in it hand in glove.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, here's a pro tip. Anyone who uses the term false dichotomy is a moron, okay?
And he had to do it while throwing the 666.
Academic phrases designed to prevent thought rather than facilitate it. False dichotomy means they're never going to have to explain why their position is correct. Or
that's not true. That is not true. Everybody has to explain why their position is correct. Everybody.
Yours is wrong. They just dismiss with, oh, it's a false dichotomy. Again, that's an NPR phrase used by
what is NPR? National Public Radio?
Low IQ people who for some reason run our country all of a sudden. False dichotomy. Here's what's not false at all. Government censorship is banned by the First Amendment. The First Amendment to the Bill of Rights. This whole country is predicated on that. But according to Joe Biden's new minister,
yeah, right.
Not is anymore.
Minister of Truth, the First Amendment no longer applies in this country because Russia and systemic racism. Watch.
It's clear that actors like Russia are using those internal fissures, things like our systemic racism here in the United States, things like economic inequality, to amplify these issues and really make us distrust the system.
So we reached out to DHS, the law enforcement agency now in charge of policing speech, about Nina Jankowicz and her plans to censor you from saying what you think is true. And they assured us that they weren't going to do that. They're going to focus on human smuggling and Russia propaganda on Ukraine. First of all, it's not their job to decide what you learn about the border or Russia or Ukraine. It's your job. You're an adult. You can read whatever you want. But of course, it's not about that anyway. If you read Jankowicz's book, which we did, you will realize very quickly she was hired to police domestic social media use, period. Quote, "I have hope we can change the norms by which our online ecosystem is governed," she wrote in a typically illiterate sentence. This is what our colleges are producing. Morons who can't even write English. Later in the book, she encourages women to...
So we get the character assassination across the board. The TikToker moron.
to go to law enforcement if they see something online they don't like on Twitter. She called that, quote, an important step in the denormalization of women's treatment online. It's hard even to believe our system produces people like this. She's an illiterate fascist. In another book, Jankowicz made it clear that she's not in favor of government regulation of social media when it allows conservatives to speak freely. So she devotes an entire chapter to criticizing the country of Poland for establishing its own Ministry of Digital Affairs. Polish officials said their ministry was a way to, quote, deal with rampant online censorship of conservatives on social networks. But she's against that. She's against the anti-censorship program. She's for censorship. She wrote that Poland was making a big mistake in pulling back censorship. And we're quoting, Poland's nearsightedness is leaving it extremely vulnerable, she wrote. And the solution, she wrote back, is for the U.S. government to, quote, lead in regulating and conducting oversight of people who disagree with the Democratic Party on Twitter. So the truth was never the goal. And we're quoting again. We are not even sure that facts can prevail over disinformation, Jankowicz wrote. We must first begin with addressing social media. And just to be totally clear, the means of the distribution of information are the key to their rule. It's all they have. They have nothing but that. If you knew what was actually going on, you wouldn't put up with this for a second. And they know that. And the Biden administration knew that Jankowicz wrote all of this. That's why they hired her. What you're seeing is a full-scale attack on free speech in a country that has been free for nearly 250 years, and it's happening at the direction of the U.S. government through a law enforcement agency. We can reveal that Biden's Pentagon, another group with guns, awarded a $750,000 contract to a group called NewsGuard. Now, that contract is for misinformation fingerprints. NewsGuard is an organization that claims to fight, quote, misinformation, but in practice is a censorship organization, targets anyone who challenges the people in power. NewsGuard is currently preparing a blacklist of sites that contradict the national security state's talking points on Ukraine and Russia. So this week, NewsGuard wrote a threatening email to the news site Gray Zone, informing the Gray Zone that they're spreading, quote, disinformation because they're not reading the script. So here's how the editor of the Gray Zone, Max Blumenthal, responded. He wrote this. Do you seriously expect us to grovel for approval from the same tentacle of the national security state and financial oligarchy that has rated CNN as a highly credible news source and whose board of advisors is a grotesque gallery of corporate propagandists, spooks, documented liars, war criminals who've never faced a scintilla of accountability for their actions? Kind of overheated language. Is it true? Yeah, every word of it. So when Joe Biden's censors come, that's the way you respond. Hey, pal, up yours. You want some disinformation? Here you go. You are a free person in a free country, and no law enforcement agency can ever tell you what to think or say, period. Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly...
Boom. So what do you think? I mean, did anybody learn anything from that? Anything that you didn't...
they're trying to start up a Ministry of Truth disinformation campaign to, censor everything online that they don't like, which they're already doing anyways, let's be honest. This is all just a public display of nonsense to trigger two different sides to achieve an outcome. It's your Hegelian dialectic.
Yeah, I feel like we all learned something that we didn't know probably even a day ago. One, that there's a Ministry of Truth now, and two, that this is the person that's in charge of it, right? So I see some issues coming up, brother. I see some heavy issues. I have a feeling that that conservatives are going to be triggered by this. They're not going to like finding out that there's a Ministry of Truth and that this person is in charge. So what do you see coming about as a result of this? Should we go into a little bit of speculation mode?
Yeah, go on. Give everybody the speculation. I stand with you.
All right. Well, there's a whole lot of things to tie in, but the the way I see it, what I see going down is this guy, Elon Musk, right? This is his pinned tweet right now. This is from April 26th, and this is regarding the purchase of Twitter. He comes out and he pins this, right? This is his most important statement that he can have up right now. By free speech, I simply mean that which matches the law, right? It gets weird here. I am against censorship that goes far beyond the law. So he's okay with censorship that goes beyond the law, right? But he added the word far. He doesn't want it to go far beyond the law. If people want less free, less free speech, they will ask government. This isn't good grammar. They will ask government to pass laws to that effect. So he's saying if people want less free speech, if they want censorship, that they will actually demand from their lawmakers that they write the laws that will censor them. You get that? So there's a reverse psychology there. Therefore, going beyond the law is contrary to the will of the people. So now all of a sudden we have the will of the people introduced, where as a collective we have maybe the power to change something right now. So this cryptic, poorly written talk right here is seems to be connected to the fact that this group, this organization, Biden created the Ministry of Truth, that the FEMA is going to, Homeland Security is going to run this organization with their agents and with their guns. They're going to censor the free speech, right? So the whole thing is so orchestrated that what I see here is a tide turning, where all of a sudden it's going to be a red tide, right? So the reds are all of a sudden going to become inflamed. They're going to call out that this whole thing is a psyop. Biden is in collusion with Ukraine, right? He's feeding money to Ukraine for Hunter, right? So that they can all get rich, and they're trying to censor the free speech, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's going to be this huge red wave. And what I see is Trump being the one to actually ride and lead that new red wave. I see his voice all of a sudden coming to the top, and however he comes back into power, I don't know how he would get into office, but I do see him leading this red revolution and getting himself back into not only a position of running the United States, but like maybe even the Western world against Putin in a big battle and a showdown. So this weekend, there's the chance of one of those big events. They've been prepping us over and over and over for a nuke, and we keep on letting everybody know those aren't real, but they can make big explosions and they can do FFs, right? So that's my prediction. That's where I see this going. I don't think we have to wait for Trump in 2024. I think we'll see him real quickly, actually. And like we covered before, we're seeing from the scriptures that Elon would be the dragon in Revelation 13:3-5, and Trump would be the beast. So all these big Trump supporters out there, they don't like it when you're telling people that, hey, he's the Antichrist. But watch and wait. We'll see. It looks like he's going to stand up and take a lead. The eighth king, that was the sixth. The seventh's in there for a short time. Then the eighth is given the power again. So Trump fits that. Oh, that's my prediction. And you said you're good with that one?
Yeah, I pretty much see it the same way as you.
Cool. All right. Well, should we?
Yeah, let's go.
We'll head to the memes. Let's
memes of the week, guys. Let's do this.
Let's go.
And now the wait is over. It's time for memes of the week. Sponsored by aluminum foil.
Community members and the
and we'll get into this later, the method they use is that of the Hegelian dialectic. Thesis played against antithesis leads to a synthesis. In other words, for Hegel, for history to make progress, you have to have conflict.
I guess to drink each other's blood might mislead people, or like people are imagining us with like goblets and we're like Game of Thrones drinking each other's blood. It's just a few drops, but yes, we do consume each other's blood on occasion for ritual purposes only. It is used for a reason, and it is controlled, where it's like, let's shed a few drops of blood and each drink it. He's much more haphazard and hectic and chaotic, where he's willing to just like cut his chest open with broken glass and be like, take my soul, let me bleed on you. It doesn't not happen, let me tell you. Maybe not exactly like that, but a version of that has happened many times.
Direct history. And if you look at the writings, for example, of the Trilateral Commission, they talk openly in the Trilateral Commission about managing conflict, not solving conflicts, but managing conflicts.
Steer history to the Bolshevik Revolution.
They wanted to set up, and they did, two opposing forces. Out of that came World War II. order, you will find that they generate conflict. So Bush and Harriman politically are conflicting. Coffin and Buckley, although part of the same order, are in public conflicting with one another because conflict leads to the new synthesis.
The order want to accomplish in the Bolshevik Revolution?
You create opposing forces which you place in conflict. Out of conflict, you've got profit.
Profit, the power, and the management. Where do they want to steer history through the Bolshevik Revolution?
They wanted to set up, and they did, two opposing forces. Out of that came World War II.
Super powerful. Those clips, brother, you just keep throwing them together every week. I don't know.
Yeah, we do what we can around here, you know? That's all we can do. Try our best. Do you need me to put it on this, or would you like something with all the way to the edges?
No, that's good.
Yeah, you can see it? Okay, good.
Let me just get this going here.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We got lots planned. We got some good music, too. All brand new music that you're hearing. Brand new within the last few days. It's crazy. Love the music. Keeps me going sometimes, you know? Hopefully you guys enjoy the music, too. We try to bring up different kinds, too, to share with as many different styles and people as possible. Kind of like a calling card, right? So I guess Jason's just getting the screen sized.
You should be presented, brother.
So here we go. This first one says, but yes, we do consume each other's blood on occasion. You got Alex Jones right there. Like, I called it out, he says. He probably does it too. Right?
Yeah.
You saw this. This is Megan Fox. I thought this was a Kardashian, bro. What happened to her? It's all plasticed out. Look at the size of that Adam's apple.
I don't
know. Not the Eve's apple, right?
The actors and actresses. Never been a celebrity fan my whole life.
Yeah, they're just people. Like, some people are better at acting and other of them, they suck at it. This one's got a huge Adam's apple, though. I don't know. Let's keep going. Someone have big Adam's apples, I guess, right?
Yeah.
What to say? Let's keep going. This one here says, oh, what happened there? Oh, geez. It's $10 off my victory money that we get from all the super likes. You guys know they have super likes? Yeah, we'll talk about that next week, Monday morning. This one says, I'm back. Let's see who can tell me what hashtag COOVFEFE stands for. I wonder if Seth can get this one quick. But yeah, so I was like, he's back. I'm like, what is this site? This is that Truth Social?
Yeah, Trump's site.
His site made by Donald Trump and Jared Kushner.
It's so ridiculous. He's got the red check mark. Twitter's got the blue check mark. Does anybody see how basic, it's the red against the blue. Yeah, there's going to be this red wave. Yeah, Trump's going to lead it. There you go, everybody. There's your beast.
Could be. A Truth Social. Nobody's told me what COVFEFE stands for. I'll be looking in the chat to see. Let's keep going here. Did you guys know? Good old Klaus Schwab. I bet you this is his dad. I bet you this guy's name is Rothschild too. But Klaus Schwab comes from the Rothschild family. Look at that. What do you think?
Got the ancestry. We were talking about this earlier. The way they keep it in the family. We just keep getting revelation after revelation of, oh yeah, this person is grandson of this person, or great grandson or granddaughter or whatever it is. But it keeps on going back to the Rothschilds. They have put all these players in place.
It starts off with what's this? Morty's Rothschild and Emma Rothschild. Let me go down the line here. We got Louise Rothschild, Melanie Rothschild. This is 1880, 1944 she lived. Then we get down here to Fred Schwab, which we already know the Rothschilds, right? They came out and already told us, Jacob. He told us they marry their own brothers and sisters and cousins. They keep it in the family. He literally, if you check Memes of the Week 13 and 12, you're going to see him admitting it himself. So anyways, this is probably Fred Rothschild Schwab.
Good point.
Right? Marianne Schwab Rothschild. See, we got the two names. Right? And then you got good old Klaus. The sicko. They also played last week that he is also with Elon Musk. He wants, when you come around him, he wants you to have your brain plugged into a computer chip so he can read your mind. That's what he said in the video that I played on the Rise and Grind. If you missed it, sorry, we're not going to be able to go through all the content tonight that we do on that podcast. Ooh, another $10 I owe you.
Makes sense. You should be able to read everybody's mind, right? That seems
right.
fair.
Yeah, I want to know if you're you agree with me, or if you're going to rebel against my tyrannical laws. So this is a tweet from the Lofster channel on Twitter. We're back on Twitter. Jason and I might actually try to do something on there, even though it's a huge echo chamber for me. It has been for like 10 years. This was what you caught off of NASA JPL. They put out this nonsense, right? Why don't you tell everybody about this meme?
Yeah, so we had covered before. They put up a picture that was supposed to be taken by their drone, right? And it's supposed to show the crash site of where the rover and all that sat down. So that's supposed to be the parachute back in the distance. That's supposed to be part of the shell of it over on the side. And I had pointed out in my own graphic the problem with it. And I had talked about the shadow of the drone there, and then the shadow of the rock that's in front of the parachute right there. All right, so this person actually did the work and did blow-ups of those areas in the background. And he said, yeah, the light is correct. It's going the right direction on all these locations, right? And then he draws the yellow line to the drone shadow, right? Now, I added everything else now. So the red arrow pointing up there, do you think the drone that took the picture is up there, do you? Right? So anybody with common sense can look at that and see where the shadow of the drone is and understand that the sun would have to be behind the drone. So then all of his other yellow lines are the proof that this is a psyop. So caught this guy, nailed him. It's
That's retarded. Okay, if you guys take a flashlight and you try to make a shadow with something, hold a quarter in your hand, try to put the shadow out right in the center of your shot right in front of you, and then try to make it that the sun is over here, but still keep the shadow in front of you. Okay, when you put the light over here, the shadow's going to be way off here.
The only way you can do that is if the camera was on a big selfie stick pole, right?
It's retarded. I like how you put these laughing emojis here. So this is well done. Like I said, this is good just to bring up so we direct people to Twitter. We're on Twitter. We're waiting for Trump.
In the description box, we have our Twitter handles. And just to let you know, because Twitter is being described as the town square, the public square. So this is where Trump and Elon and all the players are going to be tweeting, right? So the big talk is about censorship and free speech. So there's probably no better time than now for Ronnie and I to go in there and talk about the truth and fight for the truth. So follow us on Twitter and you'll see that we're going to be like this, continuing to go, item by item, just pointing out things that are obvious and true, that in a way that we don't even have to say that space is a hoax here. We don't have to talk about any of that. You can just show anybody with common sense, in order for the shadow of the drone to be there, right, the sun would have to be behind, and then you see the other shadows and you see you're dealing with a psyop. So we're going to be the fact checkers, and we're going to be on Twitter. Everybody check us out.
We're everywhere. It's limitless. Let's keep going here. Boom. The final variant is called what? The New World Order. It's really the Old World Order, but they're calling it the New World Order now, Jason.
Yeah, you keep on making the point that it's not a New World Order, right? It's the old one. The new one is the one that's coming. That's Christ's millennial reign. That's the New World Order.
New age. Next age.
Yeah.
We are at the dawn of it. Excellent. Well said. Here, you're going to like this one, bro. Boom. This one says, why is it called the theater of war? Right? Because it's all staged and fake AF.
Yeah, we've continually shown the footage. I've got a tab open right now that is the guy that's providing the pictures for Ukraine. He's got a website up. Everybody can go there and download it. All the new articles, just download pictures from this site. And the pictures show nothing of a real war taking place. It's just all staged photography. And you can sit there and pick apart each one of those pictures like we did with the rover or drone on Mars, right?
It's ridiculous, right? Look at this next one here. It says the booster shot were purchased before they existed. What do you think of that, bro? You know how to do the gematria on this one?
I don't know. It speaks to the same thing as the flu shot, right? Because they always put that out without even knowing what it is yet, right?
True. But you know, like, think about it, everybody. Think about it. Let's keep going here. It says, thinking is hard, though. Let's just trust the experts.
What a happy couple. They don't have to think. They can just let an expert tell them what to do, right?
This is a thumbs up. I'm trying to have fun, guys. I'm trying my best here. Let's keep going. It says in 1948, when Al Gore was born, Earth had 130,000 glaciers. Today, just 73 years later, it only has 130,000 glaciers. But
that's Al Gore. When was his first predicted end of the world due to ocean?
I don't know, 1989 or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. Get a lot, right? Don't use aerosol cans, everybody.
Take a look at the oldest picture you can find of some building that's along a seashore, right? Yeah. So you go to Europe or something like that, find something that's along a seashore, get the oldest picture you can, and then check it against one today and tell me how much different it is, right?
The shorelines haven't changed at all. They haven't had to raise the docks in New York. Come on, people, wake up. It's retarded. This one here is from Manly P. Hall. I can't even believe it made it in the meme roller. This is just so you guys can see it doesn't matter how much of a Satanist you are. You speak truth, I'm going to show it. And I'm definitely against a lot of what Manly P. Hall stood for. But here, this one says, when the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, not gematria, we're just talking about symbolism, a great veil will fall from the eyes of men. Jason, let's say you.
Yeah, we actually were talking about this right from the get-go. I'm talking like 5 years ago. And that is, we could tell because we knew how to spot all this symbolism, the one eyes, the 33s, the CCs, you name it. Because we could spot it, we saw how at some point when people wake up to what this really is, the fact that all these people that are doing it really are Satanists, they really are part of a new world order, they really do have the plan to exterminate you. When people wake up to that, the symbolism is going to be used against them. Then everybody that's used this symbolism is going to be under attack by the people that are upset that they got misled to hell by these people, right?
Yeah. They just continued to use the pictographic language. Team Satan, Team Cain, right? And they told you guys that it was all nonsense. Well, they went around using the pictographic language. Okay, the veil is falling down. And Manly P. Hall was absolutely right. Let's keep going here. See the next one. It says The Comedian, bro. Have you seen this one? This was from the directors of Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan, and the producers of Worldwide Conflicts. It says Best White on White Conflict 2022. A film by Pedo Sleepy Joe based on the novel by Zygmunt Brzezinski. USA in association with UK, Canada, Australia, Poland, France, Germany, and Israel presents The Comedian, casting by the Ukrainians. I can't read that one. The Pentagon, director of photography, Whitehall, executive producer, the European Union, and it's in theaters now. Check it out. The Comedian, starring The Comedian.
Produced by BlackRock.
Yeah, Vanguard of BlackRock, right? Yeah. This one's funny, right?
It is, yeah. And he's in real movies that aren't.
Yeah, he's a comedian in movies, right? They're retardedly gross, anyways. Yep. He's like what, 4'6"?
He's like stably height.
Yeah, I don't want to mock him for that. I want to mock him because he's a ridiculous crisis actor. Let's keep moving here. It says looking for answers. They're in here. If you haven't read the scriptures, you're missing out on a lot, Jason. I know you have.
Yeah, I have an old meme that it's like holding the full, was it the full house, the full royal flush, right? You've got all the cards. If you know the scriptures, you can actually look at the end and see how things are all going to play out. So it's we've shown over and over, everything that we thought was true has turned out to be a lie. The only things that have remained true are the things that we found in the scriptures. That's the only place it's been preserved.
Yeah,
So
it totally defeats all of the fear, all the propaganda, all of the New World Order nonsense, refutes the Gnosticism, points out the false dichotomies. The scriptures told us everything thousands of years in advance. Okay? It's all in there. You guys don't have to take my word for it. Read it. And there's not just 66 books either. Don't you be fooled by what the Vatican tried to do. There's over 300. And some of them are amalgamated together, like the Book of Jubilees is probably like 10 or 20 books long. The Book of Jasher, there's so many other books. Get into them. The Book of Enoch completely lays out and explains everything from the start to the end. Most atheists run around the realm talking about this is a wicked world, your God isn't real, why would he create a world like this? And our scriptures explain perfectly why it all happened. Out of jealousy and envy, angels fell and they decided to ruin this place, but it was used against them. They were turned into actual tools for righteousness. Do you want to add to that, or I'll move on?
that's good.
Okay, let's keep going. It says institutional servitude. This one came via YD. This one, she said, resonated with her, and I can see why. It says, in just a few short years of authoritarianism, or authoritarian conditioning and phony narratives, these pupils will be primed to embrace an empty life of materialistic social division, right? Either with Tucker or you're with Jankowicz. Debt-based financial slavery. So you got to be on their universal basic income. You get their handout toothpaste, handout toilet paper roll, right? At least you won't have to worry about the grocery store being out of toilet paper. You'll just get your 2 rolls per week or 1 roll per week, whatever it is that they want to ration. Your immoral political ideologies, you got to follow them, bow down to the idols they put forth, and narcissistic celebrity role models. That's who they want. Megan Fox, she said, yeah, sometimes he rips himself. Drink my blood. That's the kind of stuff that gets them off, guys. Drinking their own blood. And they want you to worship these people. This is what, and it says, I'm going to get your points here, Jason, and all whilst under the watchful eye of a corporate-led toxic, what? Alex Jones was right. Police state.
Yeah, no, I don't know what I can add to it. It's that is their agenda. It's right out there in front of you. Do you want to be subject to that, or would you rather be in a world where it wasn't debt based and you could actually build things and they'd be your own? You could sleep in the house that you built, right? That's what the scriptures promise. So this institutional servitude is only part of this wicked system. It's going to be gone.
And that's true. Let's keep going here. We'll get into another music break soon. Still got 3 songs to listen to. This one says, why we wear aprons. Absolute Freemason cucks. They hold down the imperial system, right? What do you think of that, bro? Brother Jason?
No, not
calling you a sir. You get offended. And I was raised to speak to anybody older than me, to call them sir. And then I learned, that's a Freemason term. I was like, that's been hard to stop that mind control. Go ahead.
The whole apron thing, it's so stupid looking. You look at these grown men with their aprons on, and they look like clowns.
Yeah.
You got the guy in the top left there. He's dressing like a woman, right? So
this one too.
This whole thing is gender role reversal. The apron, like the Freemasons are just sickos, absolute sickos.
Yeah, the apron that they wear, right, is supposed to symbolize them actually being builders, because the old Freemasons actually built shit. They don't now.
Yeah, I don't see builders in the picture here. What do I see the apron representing?
No, they don't. They wear fake aprons that look like the Google sign. I'm sure you guys all know. They don't wear real work belts. They wear fake aprons. It's retarded. They're cross-dressing. You could tell Freemasons, Alex Stein, Primetime 99, tiny hat wearer, he actually did the cross-dressing thing multiple times on stage. So did Mark Dice, right? All these guys, they all do it. They all, like, who was it on? The Rock did it a whole bunch of times. Will Smith did it. They all do it. Eddie Murphy did it dressed like a woman. They all do it. Robin Williams.
Trump, Giuliani.
Yeah, Trump and Giuliani, they made out, right? Giuliani and Trump, and Giuliani and drag. And that's when they asked Trump, So what do you think of Republicans? And Trump said, well, quite honestly, I have absolutely no understanding of how they are or think. He said, I grew up totally differently, raised in New York. Trump grew up with a bunch of fucking mobsters. People are so deluded. It's so insane how they can brainwash and flip the culture so fast. Like, people forgot that Trump was a mobster that went bankrupt in casinos, laundering money for the mob, like for the tiny hats. It just blows my mind. All of a sudden, he's a righteous right winger. And like 10 years ago, he was fooling around with Rudy Giuliani on camera. Like, you guys joking with me right now? Well, let's keep going. This one says, we are witnessing the biggest media-generated mass hysteria since Orson Welles' 1938 radio broadcast, quote, War of the Worlds, end quote. Do you remember that?
Well, I heard about it.
Obviously, you don't remember it, so I phrased that wrong. Have you heard of this?
I heard of it. And, we continue to let people know that all of it, like the SpaceX launches, all these things are nothing more than these types of hoaxed events, like the Orson Welles radio broadcast. Like, people fall for it because they think it's coming from an authoritative source. They think, why would they lie? Why would they fake this, right?
Yeah. So just to give a quick synopsis, the Orson Welles scenario is they faked an alien invasion on the radio. Before there was TV, everyone heard it on the radio. I saw the moon landing. I heard it on the radio. That's how they did it. And it was just a psyop. And they've been using the alien agenda psyop for a long time. Because guess what it also reinforces? The great deception, the heliocentrism. You don't have aliens unless you have heliocentrism. Let's move on to the next one. This one is the topic of the night. Topic of the night, controlled opposition. The Hegelian dialectic. It says here, controlled opposition is the technique of playing two seemingly opposing sides against each other. Right? We just listened to the right talk about this crazy lunatic left winger who she can't write, she's illiterate, she's triggered, and she wants to censor you, right? All while Tucker's acting like he's on the right, he's for freedom, right? While he works for the same tiny hat network as the other one. They're on the same network together. Goes on to state here, seemingly opposing sides against each other to achieve a desired outcome. This is also known as the Hegelian dialectic or artificial conflict resolution, right? ACR for short. If a manipulator can control the conflict, he can also what? Stage script and control the outcome. Jason, give your thoughts on this.
Well, when we do go to a song again, I just encourage everybody to read the thumbnail that'll be there. And it comes from 1984 from the Orwell novel. And so from that novel, you actually can see how they reversed everything. It's everything's flipped. You were talking about the Hegelian dialectic. This is the process that they go through. You have the audio clip that's in the meme roller. That all of that has to do with this exact same topic. It has to do with the controlled opposition using information to steer the narrative where they control both sides. There's always the people on this side, the left, the people on the blue, whatever, the people on the right, the people in the red. They control both sides to the outcome that they want. That's the Hegelian dialectic. It's explained perfectly there.
Yeah, and Lenin said it too. The best way to control the opposition is to what, Jason?
To lead it.
To lead it, right? Communism. We already told you last week, stay away from isms.
Oh, and
my language.
I want to toss out there that the ministries of truth, right? So the first one was Adolf Hitler, but then the next one was Joseph Goebbels, had a ministry of truth. The next one was Joseph Stalin, had a ministry of truth. And now the latest is Joseph Biden has a ministry of truth.
Oh,
feel like puking. Okay, we got 2 more, and then we'll get into our first interlude break. There'll be 2 interlude breaks and an outro song. And again, people, we don't just do podcasts here. We don't just share memes. We don't just make videos. We actually super care about the music. It's actually a staple here in our house. Let's go on to this next one here. This chain says CBDC. I think we all know what that means. It says you appear to be outside your approved geolocation. Purchase denied, declined. CBDCs are authoritarianism, anti-human rights, centrally planned, and pro-censorship. Don't let them shackle you. What do you think of this one, Jay?
Not only that, your credits are about to expire too. Right?
Yeah, they have set dates. Your money runs, they take your money away if you don't spend it.
And until you are under the correct inoculation schedule, right? Until you have that current, you cannot reinstate your account.
Well, this one here is specifically talking about, you've gone to the forest. Alarm, alarm, alarm. He's going to piss on a tree. Alarm, alarm. Like, they don't want you in the forest because they probably want to chase around things and kill them and drink their blood out there. Let's keep going on to the next one. This one here says a surplus of fossil fuel tax for you Canuckistanians will be taken out from your account this month based on your mileage records. You went way too far into the forest. Give us our money. It says here CBDCs are authoritarianism, anti-human rights, centrally planned, and pro-censorship. Do not let them shackle you. Again, central banking, digitized currency, digital. This is that you shall not buy or sell unless you have. Here it is. We're right on the brink of a fulfillment of what the scriptures stated 2,000 years ago.
Every mile will be tracked, and you will be charged for them, right? Because of the impact that it's having on the climate, the reason why the oceans are going up so fast. They got to protect us from that.
Yeah. The rising oceans, the temperatures, the summers are way too hot. They're way too hot. And, I can't even keep the joke going. I got to be honest with you guys. What makes me sick to my stomach? Seeing the masks everywhere, seeing people shackling, seeing people, suffocating themselves slowly just makes me sick to my stomach. But hey, take the screen share, brother. And as soon as you do that, I'll let people know what the first break song is going to be as soon as I've noticed that you've taken the screen share. Maybe go to thumbnail or something until you're ready to throw on the next song. And I'll introduce it in case people want to check it out on their own. The intro song was great. Chain Gang of, is it 1974? What a tune that one was. I loved it. I love that band too. We're getting summer music coming back in now, which is interesting to find. So yeah, the next song, let me see here. Check in your links. Dystopian future, right? The next one's from Odessa. It's called Behind the Sun. This is another more eccentric, eclectic type roller type track. I was going to use it for a meme roller, but I thought the Running Man one that we used was more fitting. But yeah, let's get into this tune, bro. I'm ready.
Let's go.
maybe more of like a spiritual with, because we do a lot of spiritual memes too. But nah, this one had to be serious. It had to be done. But yeah, it was a great track. I figured you'd probably like it too, brother. That's up your alley, is it not?
Yeah, it's soundscapey. You got that chantiness to it. I like it.
Yeah, I know you always kind of like that side chill stuff. I do too. Let's get into this. We've got a few more to go through. This one comes again from YD. It says, "Mom, what is hypocrisy? Oh, why can I never say that word? I get all these. All of a sudden, I stammer. Jason, you read this one, bro."
Hypo crispy, right? Hypocrisy.
Uh-oh. Opened up the wrong file. Go ahead.
Mom, what is hypocrisy? It looks like hypocrisy, but when someone posts free Ukraine but wants to lock down their unvaccinated neighbor.
Hypocrisy, right? Hypocrisy. Is it hypocrisy? Hypocrisy. Or is it hypocrisy? Am I muted? Who's muted? Jason doesn't have his microphone unmuted.
I should be good.
You owe me $10 if it's true. I mean, kidding. You don't owe me anything.
It looks like it's coming through.
Hypocrisy. When someone posts, quote, free Ukraine, but wants to lock down their unvaccinated neighbor, that's hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. And it absolutely is. Right? Let's keep going. Great one, YD. This one says, build back better. I don't think there's much to say about that one, bro. You want to say something? It's gross. Keep going here. This one's interesting. Let's see if this one twists you up into a knot, Jay. It says the truth is inside out. You've got reality on backwards.
Well, because of the way everything's been inverted by the satanic occult, it could appear that way, right? Because all you have to do
most people
is flip what you think is true, what is said to be true, and you'll be really close to the truth, right?
Yeah, we talked about that 5 years ago. We did a bunch of podcasts. Things have changed a lot since then. But we talked about, generally, whatever the media says, you just research the opposite. You find the truth. That's what we used to say to everybody. They make it so easy. But then they do the triple flip.
Yeah.
The triple flip with the false dichotomy, Tucker. Yeah, you're going to hear me saying more of that, too. Let's keep moving on here to another false dichotomy. This one says, just how many pharmaceutical reps does a doctor meet with through his or her career? This one, just ask this guy who saved all the pens ever given to him by a drug representative. Still think doctors aren't heavily influenced? Look at all these pens.
That's hilarious.
It's a good meme. It really is.
Yeah, and you know what? There's probably as many or more golf trips and trips to the Bahamas and...
that you have to get a different meme for the guy who saved all of his buttons from every vacation that he went on.
Yeah, every cruise,
right? Just as many of these. Pfizer, all of them. They've all been totally caught doing this. All right, let's keep going here. GlaxoSmithKline, who we don't talk about, is just as corrupt as Pfizer. Actually, they're probably the same company. They're owned by BlackRock, right? But we can't talk about that too much, or they're going to take us down. Be a post-Easter banny. Go on here. It says the FBI admits, Jason, pay attention. The FBI admits it's really hard to solve crimes that they didn't make up themselves.
I don't think they even try. Doesn't seem to be on their agenda whatsoever.
They can't do it. They're incompetent. I was trying to make you laugh.
Yeah, the amount of bombers that they saved by getting in close to some guy, giving him the materials, and then at the last minute saying, no, you can't do it, right?
That's how they do. They radicalize the people and then bust them. It's entrapment. It's disgusting.
Really is,
now,
straight up.
This was one of the most important memes of last week. I have to share it like this, unfortunately. I wish I could have showed it in a few different ways, but this is what we're going with, unfortunately. But it says here, this should be a bigger story than Elon Musk buying Twitter. Right? What is he doing with her? And when you pull on this one, this thread leads you to the fact that this one set this one up with his first wife. So think about what this one did. A handler for underage women. For Trump, too. Mm-hmm. Trump was such a freak. Okay, if there's kids listening, I'm going to give you a second to mute it. I'm going to tell you guys. Okay, either cover their ears or muted it. And maybe they don't understand English, but I'll tell you this. Trump was so weird with these girls that Epstein would set him up with. They had to wear gloves when they were, whatever they were doing to Trump. They had to wear gloves because he was a weirdo, germaphobe or something, right? So they're all yoked up together. This one here married his first young bride thanks to this one. But yeah, you're not going to hear about this on either of the two sides, right? You're not going to hear it from the left. Right? The left aren't going to call this out, even though they hate Elon. Twitter, they're all crying. Yeah, but they're not going to expose this. No one will, actually, but we will. What happened about Ghislaine Maxwell's trial?
Right.
What happened? Huh? Who's in jail? Who got caught? Did you see anything?
Never happened.
Nothing happened. It's all fake AF. Let's move on. That was a nice meme, though. I really like that one. It says hemp batteries are what, Jason?
8 times
more powerful than lithium. Scientists discover hemp batteries, it says. A team of American and Canadian researchers have developed a battery that could be used in cars and power tools using hemp bast fiber, the inner bark of the plant that usually ends up where in the ground. They cooked it. They cooked the woody pulp and processed them into what we call carbon nanosheets, which they then used to build supercapacitors. And they're on par with or better than modern graphene, the industry's supposed gold standard product. Right? Go figure, they made hemp illegal, right?
Yeah, so they do all this mining to get the lithium and keep it scarce and expensive. And here, 8 times better from hemp batteries. And this is the discarded part of the plant, right?
Mm-hmm. It's the junk of it.
It's a weed. It grows
yes,
well
it's a weed.
All over the place.
It grows really well. The weeds grow really well, if anyone hasn't noticed.
Okay, if we lived in a righteous kingdom, this would be viral. Every single person that cares about this realm would want this pasted everywhere. If you guys understand how fast hemp grows, okay, you can grow a crop like that, just tons of it everywhere. There's tons of it. Then you can use it for fuel. You can process it for medicine. You can use it for so many building materials. You can even make better batteries than lithium. Nope. I got 2 views. Let's keep going. I don't care. I do it for the truth's sake. So I have the record of it. I have a timestamp. That's what matters to me. And also leaving these videos for the youth to grow up and watch. If this realm keeps going, I want to make sure somebody spoke up, because I don't know how long I have here. So that's why we do this. Anyways, it says one of the greatest fears that people have is opening the door of knowledge. And yes, discovering that everything they had believed is not real, doesn't exist in reality. The Big Bang, spinning globe Earth, that's a big one. Jay, you know.
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. And they all piggyback. They're all ad hoc theories that rely on each other. Right? The dinosaurs, and then they went extinct, but somehow we evolved from them. It just goes on and on. Their theories are just retarded.
Atoms and nukes.
Yeah, atoms don't exist, guys. They don't. There's no such thing. Show me a picture of an atom. But yes, this is a good meme, right?
Yeah.
Let's keep going. We've got a few more of these, then we'll do another music break, and then we'll get into the newer ones to cap off the winter. This one here says fixed versus growth mindset. I know, Jason, you're all about the mind. Intelligence is something that you have or you don't have. Intelligence is something that you are able to develop. So we've got one that's fixed, which is backwards because the earth has been fixed. And the one that has growth, it goes on to state on this side, with a fixed mindset, we tend to avoid taking on challenges. Oh, that's too hard. I'm a victim of this. Sometimes there might be a difficult job on the project that I'm working with Jason. Okay. And I'll let him do it. I'll say, let me do the heavy job. I'll do the heavy one. You do the hard part. But no, I'm not doing that anymore. Now I'm saying, hey, I want to do part of this. No, I'm doing it. And I'm pushing myself. I want to take challenges. It says here, embrace any challenge. You guys know one of my heroes was Bruce Lee. Did you know that he said that, I'm pretty sure it's true, he never turned down a sparring or a fight, ever. Not one single time did he deny a challenge. Neither will I. I will state that right now. If anybody shows up here in the New World Order and a tiny hat, anyone, come here and challenge me, and I will accept it. in any shape or fashion. We can fight, we can talk, we can use any kind of weapons you want, save guns. Guns and knives are a little bit, let's do it the real way with our hands, right? Hand combat. But here it says embrace any challenge. Jason, what kind of a challenge are you willing to embrace?
Any?
Anything like me? You're up for it. Let's go, right?
Nope.
I'm not a fighter, you guys. I'm not.
I'm also not afraid of dying either. So
no, me neither.
Spending extra days in this world doesn't seem like a reward right now.
I'll tell you what I'm afraid of. The most important thing that I'm afraid of is not pleasing the source of life, the Father, we call him, right? Even though he has a much grander name, existence is his name. I'm afraid that I'm not doing good in his eyes. That's the first one. The second one, that I didn't do anything for the future. I didn't leave any truth. Those are the things that I fear, right? Well, and not being, a good man, keeping my word. Those are the only things I fear. Give me some of your fears.
Well, that's a tough one because it was back in 2012 that I had given up all fears. So once you get to the point where you don't fear death, you've really extinguished all fear. Because every single fear that we have stems from and is rooted in the fear of death. If you're afraid of losing your job, it's because you're afraid that you're not going to be able to eat or have a place to live. And all these things go back to your existence. You're always afraid that because you don't have these things, you're not going to exist anymore. So once you're not afraid of not existing, you can actually eliminate all fear, all of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you should never eliminate your fear of the source of life.
Yeah, the Father.
Life.
Yeah.
Give him credit. Yes. Go on here. It says, if sheep could vote, they would pick the guy who feeds them every time. Every time. Even if it's the same person who's going to cut their head off. Right? That's just the way that it goes, people. Right? That's why we need good shepherds. That's what we beg for. There's not too many. They all want to teach you that you're going to get raptured. You get caught up into the sky. Why would you have to face trouble? Right? I believe in Christ. Right? Didn't he die for me? So I don't have to face trouble? Yeah, that's what you want a banner above your head to say in the kingdom? Yes. That's not what I want my banner to say. You got it backwards with me. Jason, what say you?
Yeah, the fact that the sheep will just go to whoever feeds them, it's very sheep-like. They don't have that intuition. They don't have that keen sense of awareness that, hey, this person might have slaughtering me in mind. So there's so many parables to the sheep. Right? The scriptures use that animal over and over for that characteristic.
Yes, it
right?
exemplifies it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but again, right? We don't have to worry. Just continue to be the best people we can be. That's it. The hardest prison to escape is what? Is your own mind. Jason?
It is what people grapple with the most. It is your greatest limiter. It tells you can't do things, you can't accomplish this, that's not going to work, you didn't do good at this. It's our mind that does all that. Like sometimes we may get it from somebody else, another person might say it to us, but most of the time it's our own mind. So if you learn to free yourself from that, you're going to free yourself from the majority of the boundaries that were self-imposed, right?
Yes. You can free your mind. You can become limitless. I promise. Just work at it day by day. Let's go on here. Hey, Bruce. Bruce showed up. It says here, quote, you will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you. True power is sitting back and observing everything with logic. If words control you, that means everyone else can control you too. Breathe. Allow things to pass or time before you respond to things. Quote Bruce Lee. What do you think of this one, bro?
Yeah, the observer. The person that's quick to react, that emotionally gets charged and blurts something out, they're vulnerable, right? Bruce knew that. The person that sits back and waits and analyzes and is the observer, This is the person that's going to make the more calculated, correct decision. The emotional, rash one is not your best choice.
I'll tell you this. I studied Bruce Lee's teachings pretty extensively. Okay. Bruce Lee was at a point with his moves where he would spar. Okay, Jason, let's spar. You'd come up, move side to side. And what I would do is I would watch. You breathe in, you breathe out. You, bam, I hit you. Right. Bruce Lee knew when to strike with the way you were breathing. He observed everything. So too do I. I don't know if it's a sickness. Sometimes you can get this truth or psychosis. If you're constantly looking at the New World Order, like doing what we do, you guys, there's a toll that we pay. There's a toll. And what you have to do is you have to have a serious spiritual game. You have to have a really founded game in meditation, being able to clear your mind of your thoughts, being able to turn the thoughts off. Sometimes that's the hardest thing that we can do here. But yes, being the third person observer, he's not saying it like that, but he is. The true power is sitting back and allowing your third person observer to see everything and come back with a logical answer. And I want you guys to practice this. If someone triggers you, if someone does something out of the blue, and you're struck with a feeling, sit back and let time pass. And I guarantee you'll start to see that, oh, that first initial reaction that I originally thought, like you have this anxiety feeling that comes over you usually. You look back at it and you're like, wow, I was so wrong. You know, that I completely misjudged the situation.
If you would just let it pass, 30 seconds, got a little bit more context.
Sometimes
the whole thing could have been like washed away. You see that, you got inflamed because you misperceived something, right?
I'm not saying 10-second count, guys. This takes time.
Yeah.
Okay? These are serious topics we're discussing here, right? When someone triggers you emotionally, and yes, that is the time to do the 10-second count for sure. If someone like, excuse me, no offense, but you're an effing piece of blah, 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 right? You guys know whenever someone says no offense, they're about to offend you.
Right. You're already queued, waiting to see what the offense is going to be.
Rest my Uncle Jim's soul. When he taught me that, I was like, wow, because I went to say no offense to him. He was like, don't say that to me in my house. I was like, what? My uncle's not like that, right? He came real sharp with it. He said, yeah, here, listen to this. He said, no offense, but you're a fucking idiot. I was like, okay, I see what you're saying, Uncle Jim. My Uncle Jim was one of the funniest men you would ever met. Did you meet him, Jay?
Yeah.
We visited there once, I think.
I think so.
You got to meet him. He was a great man. Super funny, broke the boundaries with his comedy. He was French. He was really funny. His last name was Tremblay. Let's keep going here. This one here is a big one, bro. We'll get to the music soon. We'll race through a few more after this one. But it says, biologists say what? That trees are social beings. We all saw Avatar, right? Everybody saw Avatar. What was happening on that distant planet?
I think Avatar 2 is supposed to come out this year.
I'll ring the bell for that. It's probably going to suck and be all transgenderism, but hey.
they're talking like next level graphics. So that would be cool, right?
New CGI. We're fully immersed in the other planet. We'll feel
4K, 60 frames.
You got to be careful in the metaverse. Apparently you can be harassed and tortured or something in there.
That was some of the first headlines out of the metaverse, is people getting molested.
People getting abused, molested with their gear on. You put in the sex suit and go on there. Like, they went on there to get molested. Okay, let's get back into this. This one here says, biologists say that trees are social beings. This is beautiful. They can count, learn, and remember. They nurse the sick members. Can you believe that? They warn each other of danger by sending electric signals across the fungal network. This is absolutely true. Okay. Certain plants give off odors. They give off vibrations. They let you know when there's predators in the area, when there's difference in the weather patterns. It continues on to say, and for reasons unknown, keep ancient stumps of long-felled companions alive for centuries. So the tree roots from this alive tree will keep the stump constantly living too. Is what it's saying here, by feeding them surgery solution through their own roots. Right? It's amazing what trees can do. In Avatar, they showed the planet that they were on. They're trying to mine it. That's what the what do they say? We're minor planet too, right?
Yeah.
The Freemasons. What is it that name? Anunnaki, right?
Exactly.
But the trees actually talk. They record.
They're connected.
things.
There's a network.
Yes. They're connected in the earth.
Anybody that's ever tried digging up some trees will understand that those roots will be intermingled with each other.
Yeah, and not only that, but if you take a shovel, you start chopping away over here, you look up in a few days at the tree above there, you're going to see that it's dead. Right? As above, so below, but they're not going to tell you the truth of it. Bam! Get you some of this, Q-tards. How them pissed on cornflakes taste. Trust the plan. Trust the plan. Here he's shaking his boss's hand. Rothschild. Don't call him Schwab anymore. This is Klaus Rothschild. Get it straight. His tiny hat fell off.
Trump too, right? Probably.
I'm aggressive. I can chill out, but these guys make me laugh. And people come on. Yeah, I don't have any commenters. I do have some. I love them very much. My team, people that care, and they're there to support me. The odd time I'll get a bunch of shills that'll show up like, hey, how could you not support Trump? He's the most patriotic president we've ever had. Like, it's so bad now, the way that they try to argue for him. And I'm like, look at this meme. He says right here, he's the Corona King, the father of the Jabola.
Freemason shaking Freemason's hand with the...
You know, that's the Freemason handshake.
Thumb over at the World Economic Forum. And then that...
And we know news.
That
Where's
smug
Mark Dice?
look on his face.
Where are all you guys? Luke Rudowski, all you shills. What's the other guys' names? There's a bunch of them. Ben Swan. I can name so many of these cucks. How can you be supporting this man? He's doing this with the Rothschilds. That's who bailed him out too. Wilbur Ross from the Rothschild Bank. Boom. This one's from YD. And yes, that's aluminum foil. Don't be fooled. It's not tin foil. It's aluminum foil. I thought that was funny.
Have we done any research into hemp foil hats? Hemp foil hats?
Yeah, they're laced with CBD.
They're probably 8 times more reflective or something.
Stop it with the 8s. Let's get on to this one. It says they've conditioned you to be their poison. No, they've conditioned you to believe their poison is medicine. They've conditioned you to believe their indoctrination is education. They've conditioned you to believe that their propaganda is news. And worst of all, they've conditioned you to believe those who are aware are your enemy. Good one, YD. Check this one out, Jack.
That is solid. Yeah, so it's all been through conditioning. That's, what do they call it? Predictive programming. It's conditioning.
Tavistock, mind control.
Yeah.
MK Ultra.
Prepare a person's mind for what's coming. Then they use the Overton window to push it closer. They use the Hegelian dialectic. It's and the false dichotomy. And there's a whole bunch of COINTELPRO agents, actual agents, at work, at play.
But you can use those shills to your advantage if you're smart. But generally, there's not too many of them anymore. This one's here says, do not let them normalize myocard like they did autism. I still am sick to my stomach that they normalized this. But they said, nah, that's normal.
Yeah, that can't be normalized.
Yeah, the mom needs to be protected. She needs to have her, what do they call it? Can't believe I'm drawing a mind blank. Hepatitis shot. So they jam a bunch of mercury into the babies. And they've been doing this since like 1981. And it's caused a huge, like 100% increase in autism cases.
No, it's not good for you.
No, it's bad. They're all going to pay. They're all going to pay. They think it's great now in their big houses and their fancy vacations and everything like that, cheating on their wives and whatever these people do.
The golf club.
Yeah, they promoted all this. They went from this one. Now they've moved it up to this one. Now kids are having heart attacks. Little kids. After they've had the Jabola. So you can take the screen share, bro. We've got another music interlude. Then we'll get into a few more memes. We'll close it off for this memes of the week winter edition coming to a close. I'm a little bit down about it. I am. I'm a little depressed. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm trying to be happy. I'm trying to make everyone laugh. but I'm a little bit sad.
Well, who knows? There could be some big shakeups in the world that that allow us to just keep doing what we're doing. That might be possible.
I just want to always fight for the truth, man. But I like to build. I love to build things, and we have to pay for things in this realm. You got to earn money to survive. But I just love spending this time. We've had such a great winter since January, since we got through that illness that we both had.
Just remember, we only have to pay for things up until the time that they don't accept our money anymore, right? So
we're close.
Yeah, once we get to the point where you have to have the mark of the wild animal to participate in society, then what we had before isn't going to be important. So
yeah, this song here is called Mod Jeffrey. It's called Way Out.
Back. What was that
That's
song,
smooth.
brother? That was smooth.
That track there was Odessa. No, sorry, Odessa was the last one. That was Mod Jeffrey. I put it in the chat. It was called Way Out. And it was a nice, smooth synthwave track to get us moving into the last section of the winter podcast section. This one here says, what? Shine on. Shine on, shine on, shine on. It says all the negativity, all the negative energy trying to bring you down is coming to an end. All the dark thoughts, the overthinking and doubts are being released as you breathe out. Confusion is being replaced by clarity. And you are realizing how favored you are. What do you think of this one?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Think about the people that are in a position where they know the truths that they know. So now they're protected. You don't have to worry about death anymore. You now understand that you're eternal spirit. You understand the plan for this world, the nature of the reality. So as the confusion is being replaced with clarity, you do begin to realize just how favored you are, especially when you look around and you see how few people actually understand the things that you've picked up and figured out yourself, right?
Yes. But this one here is about releasing negative energy. Blow it out. You breathe in clarity. This is about accepting things the way that they are and manifesting the correct path. This is what it's all about. Let's get on to the next one. And it's a two-parter. Oh, I jumped too far. This one says, shine on again. It says, may the light of your spirit shine so bright that nothing can dim your glow. Shine your light and make a positive impact. Jason?
Shine the light.
Shine it.
You don't put it under a basket, right?
No, you put it up high so that the whole house will be illuminated by its light.
Absolutely.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah.
There's not much to really go over. I'm just showing you guys. This one says, live your truth. It says, sometimes your truth. Oh, why is it doing that to me? 1 second. I think I got it to go away. It says, live your truth. Sometimes your truth will bring out the worst in others. Your love will tingle what they've numbed. Your authenticity will provoke closed minds. And your success will what? Also attract haters. What do you think of this one?
Ooh, haters. I'm not fond of them, but yeah, if you do have success, you are going to pick those up. It seems to be unavoidable somehow. So yeah, I like your authenticity will provoke closed minds. So by just being you authentically and not being one of these social media chameleons where you do and say whatever it takes to be socially accepted, your authenticity will catch the attention of the right person out there, where it will provoke their minds, and now all of a sudden where they were closed off, they may actually open up to new possibilities because of your authenticity. Just being you, not being fake.
This is what any person that's being put into a position where they have to do something publicly, they need to be confident in who they are. And if you are a person out here that's been raised up to be a leader, to speak truth, you have to be prepared for all situations, for every possible scenario. And these here are absolutely keys to success as a leader. You need to understand that there are going to be haters. That's just the way that this realm is. There's going to be a lot of them, especially if you're super authentic, which is super rare. But I just want people on the other side of the screen, because I know you guys are these things too. You have to deal with this stuff too, so it's good to keep it in our attention. This one says, live your truth too. I love this artwork. I took this picture. It's beautiful. I love it. This one says, your empowerment will create enemies too, and your compassion will unmask envy. Your truth will reveal many mental prisons, but it'll also help to set even more minds free. Success is living your truth and what? Sharing it. Jason, what do you think of this beautiful meme?
Yeah, it's lots of great truth. The empowerment. So as you live your truth, you be that authentic person, and you start freeing other minds. This will be empowerment to your enemies to do the same things as well, right? So they will actually feed off of that energy and gain strength from it. But truth reveals the mental prisons. So those people, if your enemy is not aligned with the truth, they're in some mental prison somewhere. So their empowerment is trapped, right? It doesn't have the ability to express and permeate the way the truth does. So living the truth, sharing it, there's nothing the enemy can do to stop that if you live the truth and share it. It's the best advice you can get, right?
Yeah. Don't you think that Abel was super compassionate and righteous character, and Cain was envious of that, right? So it's nothing new. Don't be fooled by any of this. Let's keep going here. This one says self-control. Like a muscle, the more you exercise self-control on a consistent basis, the stronger you get. As your self-control increases, the more you gain the ability to direct your life in a manner that is aligned with the true you. That's what we want to promote here. Jason, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, self-control like a muscle. So I don't know. The first thing that comes to me is a person like a high diver, right? So if you don't want to belly flop or smack your face, land flat on your back or something like that, it takes precise control of all the movements of your whole body as you're doing your thing through the air or whatever. So in the same way that you would control your body for something like a high dive, to gain that ability to do that mentally, to have that type of self-control, it's like a muscle as well. It has to be trained. So no top high diver ever performed their best dive without having done the muscle control over and over and over and over again. It's like swinging a golf club. So many different analogies. The more you exhibit that control, the better control that you will have. So self-control is a really interesting one, because then you can apply this to every aspect of your life. Then all of a sudden self-control affects how you eat, everything that you do. Now all of a sudden you have mastery over all the quote unquote physical things. So the more you master that, the better in control of your life you're going to be.
Yes, like a muscle, you can get stronger and better at having self-control. This next one here also says self-control. A little bit different art, but matching. It says here, the more aligned your actions are with your thoughts and feelings, the better you feel about yourself and the decisions that you make. You also reinforce in your mind what you are capable of, and it makes it less difficult to make similar decisions in your life. This is a very important meme too.
Absolutely. Yeah, self-control. You're not gonna go wrong with self-control, anybody. I've never heard of somebody having too much self-control where they put themselves in a detrimental state by having so much self-control.
Right? I've got too much self-control. Hey man, you're too self-controlled. You gotta let go a little.
That's dangerous.
No, you're never gonna. You're funny. Do you like this one? I like this one. These were all so much fun. I enjoyed making them. I missed it. I took a week off. Now there's going to be a break. We'll see what I can do while we're working. This one here says intuition. Always trust your intuition, because deep down at your core, beyond all the programming and conditioning that you have received, you know exactly what is right, and you know exactly why you are here.
Yeah, so another sense, right? So we've talked about the 5 senses that are obvious that we have, and we've always mentioned intuition as being that 6th sense. It's very discernible to the people that have it, right? Because they get this sense, they get the feeling, they know when the phone's going to ring, they know they have this keen sense that is accurate. It's been tested, they understand it, and so it is a 6th sense that a person can, like we were talking about with the other things, through practice, through working on control of it, you can enhance your ability to have intuition, a 6th sense. It's real.
Right. It can be built in many ways. People could have gone through serious trauma and it sparked their intuition. It can happen through disabilities. Your intuition is something that you need to embrace, right? You got to embrace it. You can get rid of the programming and the conditioning, and you can actually understand exactly who you are and why you're here. To me, this artwork just gives me the fizz, as
Yeah.
Wrangle Star would say.
So
I just, huh?
The question is asked whether or not this would be the Holy Spirit. It can be, for sure. The Holy Spirit can nudge somebody's intuition, absolutely. But we do see demonstration of people having intuition that don't necessarily have the Holy Spirit as well, that are using it for nefarious reasons as well.
Yeah. We don't have to make everything biblical, Becca. Okay. This is something you're taking in. This is you. This is your intuition. But yeah, getting back to the art. I want to get back to the art. Yes, it can be related to the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is what reveals truth to us. It comforts us. Our intuition is our guidance. It's our internal GPS system. And we've been told to just push it aside. We need to nurture it and bring it back. But I want you to look closely, Jason, closely at these images. Definitely this one, huh? Does this remind you of anything? But look at how it looks now. When I met Jason, his old channel, which he deleted, which I was still able to find and get screenshots of.
Well,
from one of my hard drives.
No, I never deleted the channel, but I had a different avatar when I
Yeah,
started.
you switched. Sorry, I didn't mean that. You deleted videos, though.
I did, but I didn't know that you could just put them on
pissed.
private. Otherwise, I would have just put them on private.
You were so, I don't want to say naive. That's
Oh,
not
I
the right
was.
word. But you had an icon that was like an ascension man. But look at that. Look at this graphic. Should I zoom in on it? I want to show you. It's a little updated, right?
Yeah, everybody knows I was New Agey before.
You were in the New Age deception. That's fine. See? Sort of like was like your avatar, but this one's got like a heart chakra thing going on. For me, I don't know what it is about this. This right here is symbolizing higher selves, right?
Well, there are real sensations that a person they can actually feel. So the Eastern religions have labeled it the Kundalini, right? So the serpent coming up. A person that has it's not trying to be demonically possessed. A person that's just in deep meditation with the Father, everything righteous, everything, nothing evil or wicked about it. When certain realizations take place, certain affirmations take place, you can feel the energy come up the spine. You can feel it come into the neck. You can feel it come into the head. You can feel a swelling of energy that actually sort of feels like you're being picked up by the head. Like if anybody's ever had those caliper things that massage the top of your head, and you know how good that feels. If you were to have that type of a massage, it sort of feels like a person's being lifted up by that energy. And so it is something that is witnessable by people. It happens commonly. A lot of people do contrived methods of achieving this. They'll do the pranayama, the breathing and stuff like that. I think Eric DeBay teaches some of that.
It's not all bad. Some of that's good too. I basically have serious ways of meditating. And if I'm doing it near anything that's electrical, I can break it all. But anyways, I just want to get back to the art here. Okay, so the reason why I really like these graphics is because it gives you a more ethereal look. We're trying to explain something that's spiritual. Your intuition isn't something we can point to and say, there it is. It looks like this. No, it's a feeling. It's inside you. It's your intuition. And that's why I like this art. It just has a very intuitive feel to it. And that one was special to me. And this last one of the evening, it says bloom. It says, may the flowers that bloom in your heart forever remain planted in the purest of love.
Bloom. Springtime. We're there right now. We got May Day coming up, right? May
you want to take it to Beltane? Come on,
May
bro.
the flowers. Come on.
Okay, that's a good saying.
May the flowers.
April showers bring what?
May 1st.
May flowers.
May
it's a
Day.
beautiful one too. You see the artwork? See how they're like transcendent, trying to read. These people aren't being raptured, for all you rapture fanatics. And I really like this side too. And I really like this. We are flowers. right? If you guys have ever read Solomon's writings and David's, liking a sun to flowers and trees too. Do you like that one, bro? It's not really that much to talk about. It's just pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty, yeah.
It's nice art. I enjoyed making this. I really enjoyed spending this time with you guys. I really did. All the ups and downs. And I hope that Father's happy with my work, and that I was able to share what's in my heart with all of you guys. And I hope you guys have a really good weekend. And I look forward to. I'll be back Monday for Rise and Grind before I go hang some sheets of drywall. I mean,
you keep on assuming that the world's going to be the same this next Monday, brother.
Brother, I am so fixed on my path forward for fighting for truth and freedoms. The tribulation could come and go, and you might still see me doing the Rise and Grind. Right through it. Good morning, Kingdom. Thank you guys for tuning in, especially to the moderator, to everybody that shows up, especially you, Becca Shine. You've got the best attendance record, right? Besides YD, obviously, but YD and Jason don't count. You guys don't count in this one. But thank you, Becca Shine. Your attendance has been great. I hope you've learned, and I hope you're using this knowledge whenever people actually ask you things, because I know if we run up to people and start telling them truths, they usually don't want to hear it. But thank you, Becca, for being such a good attendee, and everybody else too. Esteban, Bronick, we got so many. Lisa, there's so many people here. I don't want to not mention everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have been great this winter. I'm so thankful that we got to spend this time together, and I'm just going to stop ranting and probably going to get some rest. I hope I sleep well tonight. I haven't been sleeping the best, but I really need to get some good sleep. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday morning.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Make sure you like, make sure you share. Where's the only place anybody's going to hear this content, brother?
Only on whatever channel they haven't thrown in jail yet. And this is the Yahawahashai News Network.